Conhecida na primeira pessoa a história do empreendedor João Rahfeal Gordon, passemos então à primeira Masterclass da tarde. Becoming a Successful Global Entrepreneur, protagonizada por um antigo sem-abrigo das ruas de Newark. Rahfeal Gordon vem a Anjo com um propósito: desafiar a audiência a sonhar. Reconhecido speaker internacional e renomado consultor na área da liderança e empreendedorismo, soma no currículo diversas distinções nestas áreas de conhecimento. Aguardam-se, por isso, histórias inspiradoras, exemplos de vida impactantes. Em suma, uma ode à motivação alicerçada na máxima de que querer é poder. Rahfeal, the stage is yours!
First, let me say that I am very honored to be here today. It's phenomenal. My energy that I get from every individual that I met and connected with since I came off the plane has been amazing. Yesterday I had a moment to ask myself, what can I say to every individual that's coming here today to hear me speak? Should I talk about my business? Which tips am I going to tell them? Who I'm going to smile at, who I'm going to wave at. What is everybody going to wear? How will they perceive me? And I said to myself, of all the things that I've been through and the things that I experienced, they all got me here. So why not just show up and be me? So can I be me today? Now, who I am. I will tell you about that later, but first I want to give you a story. And this story will relate to a lot of individuals. And in this story is also some lessons. So pay close attention as I tell the story. There was this chicken that lived in a small chicken coop. And in this chicken coop, with this one chicken, there were 99 other chickens. So that's a total of 100 chickens in a chicken coop. Each and every day, they did everything together. They played together, they ate together, they grew up together in this small chicken coop, 100 chickens. But one day, that one chicken woke up and had an epiphany. He had a dream. He says, why is the sky so blue? Why is the sun so big and bright and yellow? I mean, why do I feel so different today? I feel sexy today. And he walks off to meet with his friends and his family, and he says, hey guys, do you feel different today? Does your feathers feel a little bit more ruffled today? And they say, what's wrong with you? He says, I had a dream. They said, a what? He says, a dream. He says, when I woke up from my dream, I was asking myself, why is the sky so blue, and why is the sun so big and yellow? They said, don't worry about that, let's have breakfast. So they all go together and they go to the corner and eat their food, but they're all eating in the same portions. Nothing was bigger than the other and nothing was smaller than the other. Same portion. So now, after they finish eating breakfast, he's noticing that he's still hungry. Everyone else is full. So he says, why am I still hungry than all of you here? They say, don't worry about that because, see, in this chicken coop, we all eat the same portions. He says, okay, no problem. So then lunchtime comes around, same portion, and he's noticing after they finish the food, he's still hungry. Why am I still hungry after lunch and you all are still full? They responded, don't worry about that because in this chicken coop, we all eat the same portions, do the same thing each and every day. And he says, I don't understand. They said, don't worry about it. So they go for this little run, they play this little game. And when he starts to run, as he normally does, his feet lift off the ground. And he looks back and he notices that he's well beyond where the other chickens are. And he says, what are you guys doing so far back? And they all say, wait, come back. You see, in this chicken coop, not only do we eat the same portions, but we run at the same pace. He says, but I don't feel today that we should do that. I'm running at my normal pace. And before he gave the next question, 5 birds fly over the chicken coop. Not 100, not 50, just 5. And one of those birds comes down to the chicken coop. And as they fly down, the other one starts to run away. And that one bird says, wow, you are amazing. And that bird that flew down says, what are you doing down here? What are you doing down here? He says, I belong here. You see, I was born and raised in this chicken coop. He says, but don't you look like me? Don't you have dreams like me? They never question what is beyond this chicken coop or why the sun is so big and bright and yellow. And he says, I did, but everyone said to me that I shouldn't worry about that and that the food that we ate should be at the same portions. He says, but how is this possible when you're not actually a chicken, you're a hawk? Chickens can't fly, but hawks can. Pause the story for a moment. Many of you here are entrepreneurs, and many of you have had some amazing experiences, some good, some bad. And along the way, you'll meet individuals and be in situations that makes you feel as though you're supposed to be in this chicken coop, that you're no different, that you should be keeping your feet on the ground and not fly high, that you shouldn't spread your wings, that you shouldn't run as fast as you want to and eat more when you need it because, see, as entrepreneurs, we need more. We need to get to the next level. So for me, I came here, and I was invited here because along the way, I realized that I was actually a hawk and not a chicken. Did you catch that? I decided to spread my wings and fly because I knew that there was something beyond the chicken coop in which I come from. The reason why I say where I come from, my name is Rahfeal Gordon. I was born and raised in Newark, New Jersey in the United States. I call it an opportunity. I had an opportunity to know what it's like to be homeless in the city of Newark, New Jersey. Along the way, I lost my mother and my father to drugs. They didn't die, but they no longer were in my life. I'm the oldest out of 4 boys. The youngest brother went to prison. The other one was murdered, and the other one decided to leave because where we were, it was a chicken coop. And he said that if we stay here, the only thing that's going to be left is either dead or prison. But here I stand telling you that my location was not my destination. I'm going to say it again. My location was not my destination. And I give you that quote because it can go also with your life. Where you are today is not where you're going to be tomorrow. Your location is not your destination. Where am I now? Well, I'm the CEO of 2 companies. I founded 2 nonprofits. I give scholarships to students that need to get into college that may have come from low-income families. I'm also an award-winning entrepreneur and author. I have a publishing company, but I also publish 14 books of my own. 14 books. I'm only 33. 14 books. Can you believe 14 books? It's crazy. But I share that because I realized something, just as I'm telling you, that you are all hawks, that we're all great. And there's something about you that someone doesn't have. Like every one of us has some type of gift, a purpose. For me, I use entrepreneurship as a way to get out of my situation. I realized early, I started my first company at the age of 15. And what I did was I was selling candy. Now, some people are like, oh, selling candy is cool, you know, it's cute. Oh, you sell kids, cute little kid selling candy, oh my gosh. But I was making more money selling candy in school every day than my teachers were making as a teacher in school. I didn't have a business plan. I just knew I needed to make money because I didn't want to sell drugs. I didn't want to do anything that was negative. So entrepreneurship was my way of solving a problem that was in my life. Did y'all catch that? So now, fast forward. I'm going to give you a particular a theory or something that I share when I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs. There are 3 stages in your life that you will go through. 3 stages. The first stage is called the stage of chaos. In the stage of chaos is where you have all these things going on because you may have a new goal, a new dream. You may start a new business. So what happens is there will be a lot of conflict because it takes you out of your normal state. You're no longer be comfortable. You know, you got to stay up late now. You know, you got to sacrifice some food. You can't have dinner because you got to go to this next meeting. So along the way, you're going to have these things. You're going to start to challenge your belief system. Some things that you were taught may not be working for you when you're starting this business or when you're actually going through life. So chaos happens. And in this stage of chaos, it gets crazy. You know, it's quiet storms. It's those storms that you have, even in your personal life, that you don't want to tell nobody about. But it's really, really, oh my gosh, how do I go through that? Then you go to the second stage, when you have realized something in your stage of chaos, that you have faith, you have passion, you have strength, you have courage. You say to myself, you know, I can get through this, and you decide to get through it. You go to the second stage, which is the stage of ruins. How many of you guys know about the ruins? Like Rome, like you go to Rome, you see all like the ruins. You know, there are certain buildings here in Portugal where it's been there for years, right? Some are not as standing up as much as they used to. There are certain buildings, half of the building. But every time someone comes to visit, there's always, hey, have you been to that church, that cathedral? Have you been over there? Have you seen these boats? They've been here for years. In your stage of ruins is where you are after everything is done, after the storm has passed. Where do you stand? After all the issues with your business has surpassed and you were able to get that one client, or you were able to make that contract, and now all those things happen to you, it's where you stand after it's done. But see, in the stage of ruins, people tend to get comfortable. They stay there because they feel that they know that as long as they live, there's going to be other storms too. So what happens? Only a select few, very few, it's never that many. It's always, like I said, 5 birds fly over the chicken coop. And after that stage of ruins comes the stage of transformation. Oh, my name is Rahfeal. Transformation. So what happens is, in the stage of transformation, is what happens when you've gone through your chaos. It's what happens when you realize that, okay, I can get through this, and I'm going to go see how far I can go, how high I can fly. Where can my business go from being local to national to being global? It's the things that you've never seen before, and what happens is your whole entire life changes. A lot of friends that I meet along the way, I always tell them that the process is more important than the reward. I'm going to say this again. The process is more important than the reward. It's great that some of you may have amazing companies, you may have millions of euros coming through, or you may be thinking about how big my vision will be. But you got to remember something, is how you show up in the process that matters the most. Because it's there where you make the most amazing relationships with people. It's where you learn about how to do business. It's about how you become a stronger man, a more amazing woman. It's those moments when you say to yourself, I did it. Only in the process. You can't get that after the reward. The reward is a celebration. Okay, I got the contract, or I created my business, but what's enticing is, how did you get there? Tell me your story. Because we're all human, so we had to have some type of struggle. How did you get through it? So from the stage of chaos to the stage of ruins to the stage of transformation. This here is an amazing picture because to me, it's because this was the first time I stepped in Monterrey, Mexico. And we took that picture. Actually, this is the front cover of my next book that's coming out, my book number 14. And the reason why it's such a powerful picture to me is because Rahfeal was considered one of God's angels, and he was a healer. And also, it was always said that God would say to him, he would give him missions, and he would say, don't make something new. Just put what's out of order, put it into order. But heal. And so for me, I felt that my life was an example of what happens when you are able to heal with your words and be able to go through the moments and processes and see where you can use your life as an example. But for me, again, entrepreneurship was that tool. Do you get what I'm saying? How am I doing? Pretty good? Awesome. So now I'm going to shift a little bit because I don't want to talk so much. So if you have a question as I'm speaking, please raise your hand. And as you raise your hand, for some of you, I have a nice little gift for you. So please. All right, so now process versus the reward. I already said the process is more important than the reward. Now here's something else. Everyone say quote. Everyone say quote. Ooh, even better. Everybody say quote. Quote. You may not be everyone's cup of tea, but you're still a cup of tea. I'm going to say it again. You may not be everyone's cup of tea, but you're still a cup of tea. Now, for those who like coffee, you may not be everyone's cup of coffee, but you're still a cup of coffee. So that means that whatever you create and whoever you are, remember that sometimes everyone is not going to be able to like what your belief is, and they're not going to really enjoy your business, or they may not like what you present or where you're from or how you dress, but that's okay. Because there are individuals along the way that you will meet who will be able to say, I need you in my life. I love how you do business. I love how you carry yourself. I love the fact that you travel. How do you be you? Like, that is so amazing. And I think that is important to tell people that you may not be everyone's cup of tea, but you're still a cup of tea. Because along the way, I've had my struggles. I've had so many different failures. But the thing is that I felt my way to success. You cannot be an entrepreneur. If a person said to me as an entrepreneur, Rahfeal, I've never failed in my life. Every contract that I went for, I got it. My team is amazing. My advisors is like, they're solid. And I say, you've never failed. No, I've never failed. Like, you've never tripped. You've never, stumbled. No, I've always been amazing with what I do. That's great, but we can't do business. Because I need the authentic side. What gets you through the day? Because I know that if you're married, I mean, there's not always perfect, but when you come to the office, sometimes that brings into the office. You're not happy all the time, so how do you stay motivated? How do you stay inspired through the process? I need to know this because if I'm going to do business with you, I need to understand who you are. I want to have dinner with you. I want to be able to know what makes you tick. Here's a great example. How many people's birthdays are in January? Anybody birthdays here in January? Hands high, boom. Whose birthday is January 23rd? Anyone? Okay, just me. I had to make sure because that's what you always got to try to find that connection. And I think that's important, again, to find the connection. How many people love the summer? Summertime. How many people's favorite color is red? How many people have been to the U.S.? How many of you have businesses already? How many want to start a business? So again, the thing about it is to always find that connection. Opportunity. Now, for those who are starting a business and for those who are planning or have one already and trying to get to the next level, be aware of this. I have a personal mission, and my personal mission in life is to be one of the greatest international motivational speakers out of America while showing individuals all over the world how to make their dream a reality to impact humanity. That is my personal mission until the day that I expire. So every day that I wake up, I ask myself a question. With all the meetings that I'm having, every phone call that I take, every email I respond to, the TV shows that I listen to, the music that I listen to, what I write, will all these things help me get closer to my personal mission? And for the things that do not, I have to, with as raw as possible, to say, I can't do it. I can't hang there. I can't be with this person because it's not going to help me. When you have a crystal clear message, a crystal clear vision about where you want to be as on point as possible, you realize that you have many opportunities that will come your way, but every opportunity isn't for you. You gotta remember this. Every opportunity, it may be amazing, it may be good, it may be enticing, but you gotta remember that every opportunity isn't for you. Because if you have a clear vision about where you want to be with your business or for yourself personally, then you can have the confidence and be aware that this is where I want to go. And even though that may look good and that opportunity is amazing, I know where I need to be. And I'm more fulfilled this way. I'll give you an example. Everyone say happiness. Everyone say joy. Happiness is the material, it's the example of your intensity of joy. So for example, your favorite color, your favorite TV show, your favorite sweater, your best friend. How many of you guys have best friends? I have a couple. Exactly. It's my grandmother, who I call my first love. So that's my happiness, because my happiness intensifies my joy. So the more happiness I have around me, the more my joy intensifies, which is my emotion. So when you are doing business, and when you are walking home, or when you are doing things by yourself, you have to ask, what is your happiness? Are you wearing the things that intensifies your joy? Are you listening to the people or the things that intensifies your joy? Is the business that you're doing intensifying the joys of others? Is the business that you're going to create and the business that you're going to be or that you're working in or working on, is it intensifying the emotion of joy in others? Because as entrepreneurs, you're nothing more but a servant. And how you serve your product and your service will determine how many people will give you the opportunity to be in their presence to intensify their joy. Did you catch that? We are all servants. How do you serve to intensify the joy or the emotion in another individual? It's very important, very important. Pause for a moment. Are there any questions? None? Oh, go for it. Go for it.
Imagine that you work in a company and you're not the owner, you are just an employee. And you have a vision to the company. They are stagnant, they don't want to evolve, they think their vision they don't have a vision, they just have a point of view. But you know what they have to do to go further
Right.
but they are in the past. They don't want to evolve, but they, at the same time, they tell you, motivate us. They don't want to go there, but they ask you, give us the motivation. And what do you say to this boss who don't have the vision, who works in the past, who don't listen to the other people, but you know what is right to the company? It's not your company.
Right.
You have the motivation, but you don't have the right words.
Uh,
What do you say?
to the employee.
No, to the boss.
I think after I talk to the boss, I'm gonna get fired. Honestly, but honestly, to be I've never. What I do know is that say it again. She has good vision, but she's not the person leading the company. So see, there's the disconnect.
She has a good vision to the company.
So she has good vision, but see, at the end of the day, too, like the leader of a company or an organization or a family takes time to exactly will listen to the person, the members of the family or the employee. I think that a great leader is one who listens first and speaks last. I think it's important, again, it goes back to having a crystal clear vision about where you want to be and where the company should be going. If you cannot transcend your message or your vision of your company, of your family, and where you want to go, you will end up losing amazing people who work within your company, and you will also maybe losing the love or the connection or the bond to members of your family if you don't take the time to listen to them. For me, I think that it's important to be able to be clear about your vision. If he or she is the boss without a clear vision, I think that they're steering down the wrong path. At some point, something is going to happen, and if they don't have a clear vision, people will jump ship. For an employee to tell an audience that my boss has no vision, but I do, there's something wrong, there's a disconnect. And I think that is important, again, that's why I asked, are you an entrepreneur? Because if not, you may want to think about that, because your life is in the hands of someone who has no vision. How do you allow someone to lead you with no vision? There's always been the statement about a city with no strong leaders is a city that will burn, will fail, will go to the ground. And so it's important that as an individual that recognizes, which I think is amazing, that you realize and understands that he has no vision, but you do. Maybe your vision is for something totally different than not being in a boat that's probably about to sink. But that's my view, my point. Is Karen here? I think there's something for you. Here you go. And any other questions before I go on? Go for it.
In your company or as a leader, which do you prefer, entrepreneur people working with you or mechanical people just to execute tasks? And how can you manage the entrepreneur people doing and having joy as you are telling us to have inside of your business?
So a lot of my team, I rarely call them my staff or my employees, but more than like 80% of my staff have companies. And my goal is to make sure that when I do partnerships with my team, and also I give them a lot of advice so that we can keep the partnership going. So I want to see my team succeed. I want to see them flourish. So I make sure that there's a space for them to innovate and be excited about it. I have times where I create, like for example, I did a partnership with Mori Films, which is a small production film company in Oslo, Norway. And she's going to be doing a short, and her team are going to do a short film of my book, 123. And so even though they're part of the team, I'm actually funding their project as a way to invest in their dream and their goal. So for me, as an entrepreneur, I know that I don't like being in a particular environment or a culture where I can't innovate, where I can't be creative. But if I am able to be in a particular group of people or be with a team that actually pushes me to be creative and also will support me and also finds a way to connect my goals and my dreams to their overall mission and vision, then it's always going to be a win-win. And so for me, again, like I think it's important that if you have a company, and you have to ask yourself a question too, the people that you want to have a part of your team, how will they benefit from being a part of your team or your company? And also, how can you benefit as well? It has to be a win-win situation. So it's a constant dialogue, it's constant communications, because that's important. Communication is important. So if you can have that constant dialogue of, okay, how do we win together? I think it's important. Again, like, we live in a very promoted global community. And so when you're using these platforms such as Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, you can't literally think on a local level when you're using a global tool. So what you do in your city actually can affect someone in another country. We see it all the time with movements and people getting overthrown and things of that nature. So it's important that you can actually seek out the help that you need, even if they're entrepreneurs, on a global platform, which again, to help you make sure there's a win-win situation. And sometimes, again, like, I may go far left when I say this off a topic, but sometimes you find like some of your greatest allies and your greatest teammates may not even be in the country that you're in. Thank you for the question. And I got you a gift. Any other questions? How am I doing? Some of that advice pretty good? Yeah? All right. Oh, I like somebody whistled at me. All right. If you're enjoying yourself, everybody say yes. Yes. Wait, if you're enjoying yourself, everyone say yes. Yes. All right. I love this. Now, time check. How am I doing with time? I got an hour. 45. So I have 15 minutes. All right. So I want to give you just a small piece of advice when it comes to being an entrepreneur. For me, I traveled, and how many of you want to go global? Want to take your business from being on a small scale to a really big scale? It's important that you travel. I'm pretty sure you travel. I want you to truly push and travel as much as you can. I want you to take the limits off. I want you to think outside the box. This is for each individual here. Think outside the box. Nothing that you think of, use your imagination, work it. I wake up in the morning, I do meditation, I do prayer, then I start my day. I'm always trying to work it. Find a picture. This is a nice little example. Find a picture, or you can find a couple of them, that will reflect where you want to be. And I don't want you to put no words on it. I don't want you to, you can collage it together if you want to. But every morning, just stare at that picture. Let your mind soak in that visual of where you want to be and what you want to have. If it's want to have a dynamic team, find a picture of a dynamic team. And I want you to stare at, just who are these people going to be? I want you to, use your imagination. My guy is Elon Musk. When he came to Norway, he was talking about how he wants to just take everyone to Mars and all these different, it's like, oh my God, it's Mars, bro? Like, you want to go to Mars. I like Earth, it's fine here. But he wants to go to Mars, right? But the thing about it is he took the limits off. And the things that he has done with SpaceX, with Tesla, like, these are things that are beyond other people's imaginations because he took the limits off. So I want you to start somewhere by finding just the visuals that are the examples of where you want to be. And I want you to push every day. Get your clear vision. Get your personal mission statement together and understand, like, where I want to be and how am I going to get there. How? How are you going to get there? And make sure that your why is big enough. I've heard this before many times, like, you got to have a huge why, and that's true. For me, I want to affect humanity. I want to see the world in a better place. I want to go into, I do now, go into countries and I work with former prime ministers, world leaders in general, and global entrepreneurs. But the ones that I really focus on heavily are the ones that are trying to use their business to affect humanity as a whole. They want to change lives. They want to change a third world country. They want to do all these different things that will be able to make the most amazing impact on the world. And that's important because we all are connected in some way, shape, or form. For me to be connected to my good friend Miguel and say, Ra, 2.5 years ago, we were in Norway. I'm from the U.S., he's from Portugal. We met up in Norway, and he's like, we got to figure out a way to get you here. You're just like, we got to figure out a way because I think that someone will learn something from you and be inspired by you just as much as I was. But the connection that we made is just something amazing, and I realized something again. There's always those reminders that we're all connected in some way, shape, or form. And entrepreneurship can be a phenomenal example. It's not just about business with entrepreneurship. It can be much more. Entrepreneurship got me out of poverty. Entrepreneurship helped me put people through college. Entrepreneurship made sure that there was food on the table every single day. And that was my only goal, but just so happened I went to the third level, which is to transcend and transform. And so here I am in Portugal, but had no clue that I would be like that when at the age of 15. Because all I wanted to do at the age of 15 was to find a way to find a place to stay and to put food on the table. I just said, you know what, this is working for me, and I want to go farther. Before the terms of startups, before the term of being a social entrepreneur, I was giving back to my community. I mean, there are things that I've done that I don't even talk about because of the fact that I wanted to do it because I was so excited to feel the joy in my heart and my body as people would sit here and say, Rahfeal, thank you. I want to, no. This is just for you because I see something within you. And I want your potential to become a reality. I want you to be more than who you are today. Because just like I told you from the beginning, your location is not your destination. So as I leave this stage, before I ask if any of you have any last questions, take a moment when you leave here, or just take a moment just to soak in the moment that you're here. There are many other people that may want to be here today, but you're here for a particular reason. We have other amazing speakers who are going to come on the stage and give you the most amazing methods that I can truly vouch, and from our conversation since I met them from day one, would truly blow your mind away. Embrace it all. And if you meet someone here and they smiled at you or made a connection, just hey, what do you do? How are you trying to change the world? Because you truly can, and you can do it through entrepreneurship. And being at this phenomenal stage and with this phenomenal organization, there's no telling how far you can go. And all the entrepreneurs that are here, that are housed here, are in a great position to change the world. And I think it's important that we all stay connected and always remember that our location is not our destination. Again, I'm Rahfeal Gordon, and my goal in life is to be one of the greatest international motivational speakers out of America while showing individuals all over the world how to make their dream a reality to impact humanity. And the question is, are you going to do it with me? Are you going to do it with me? Yes. That's all I wanted to hear. Thank you.